Welcome to our series called Mama Needs a Minute, where we discuss all things motherhood and well-being because sometimes you just need a minute. This is brought to you by LunaYou, a maternal health program geared to empower women through pregnancy and after birth with our awesome partner, Neighborhood Health. During our session, feel free to leave questions, comments, or emojis in the comments. We can't wait to engage with you. So today I'm honored to have a special guest. This is Ariana. She is a sleep specialist, sleep consultant, lactation consultant, and just is so knowledgeable in all things motherhood and navigating mom life. She has two little ones herself, so not only is she an expert, but she's also going through it as most of us are. So hi, Ariana. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, Penelope. Thanks for having me on. I was really excited when you guys reached out. I'm honored to be on here. Honestly, you guys are doing such a good thing for mothers, moms all over the world, or all over the country, I should say. So a little bit about me. I am a mom of two. My son is 3.5, and I have a newborn. She's going to be 6 weeks tomorrow, actually. And the way that I got started into becoming a sleep consultant was because of my son. I endured countless nights of not having any sleep. My son was a terrible little sleeper from the very beginning. And I would ask the pediatrician at every appointment about sleep and how he wouldn't nap for longer than 15 minutes at a time and how he was up every hour. And I had no idea what I was doing. And the pediatrician would just tell me, every child is different, which is right. But that, he was going to get it at some point or another. His sleep was going to consolidate on its own. And so when he was 8 months, I actually reached out to my own personal provider and I made a last minute appointment because I was desperate. I was really in the thick of postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety because I was not sleeping. And so the moment I got in there, I told her that I needed medication to help me. I needed postpartum medication or some kind of medication to help me with my anxiety and my depression. And the first question she asked was, "How are you sleeping?" And I still think about this. And I literally started laughing and crying at the same time because to me, sleep was a joke, and crying because I was so exhausted. And so I told her I haven't slept for like more than 3 hours consolidated since before I had the baby. And so she looked at me and she said, "You need to work with the pediatric sleep consultant." And I said, "What is that?" And she said, "I have twins, and you would think me as a doctor would know what I was doing when I had my twins." And she's like, "No, I hired a pediatric sleep consultant because I was exactly where you were, except that happened to me when they were 4 months." And so, yeah. And so she gave me the business card of the pediatric sleep consultant she worked with. And I'm not kidding you. As soon as I got back to work, I was like, I need to get on the phone with this pediatric sleep consultant. I booked a discovery call with her. I chatted with her the very next day, and she told me she was booked out for 2 months. And I literally cried on the phone with her and begged her to please work with me, like as soon as she possibly could. So she said, "I'm going to make an exception for you because I've been where you are." And she's like, "So let's start working together Saturday." And so for me, this was like the biggest blessing, right? Because I didn't know what a pediatric sleep consultant was, but she promised me she was going to help me with my child's sleep somehow. And I was so desperate. So we started working together. We worked together for a total of 3 weeks. And I'm not kidding you, by the third day, my son was taking 2-hour naps, which was something that was so out of this world. And by the third night, he started sleeping 11 hours consolidated at night. And that's when I really feel like that's when I became a mom. Because before then, I was just on survival mode. I wasn't enjoying any of my time with my son. I was frustrated. I was resentful. There was, issues with my partner, and I was in a really bad place. And so after working with her, my life changed completely. I literally feel like I came out of a fog. And like I said, I really started enjoying parenthood, and I started looking into, different pediatric sleep consultants because then I got really curious about it, right? Like, how do you become one? And I realized that there was a huge gap, that there's not many Latina, or minority, I should say, women of color that are pediatric sleep consultants. And so I looked at my husband and I told him, I want to become a pediatric sleep consultant. Like, this is what I want to do. And my husband said, great, do it. When can we enroll you? Right. And it's so weird for me because I'm Latina, Mexican American. I grew up with a very macho dad who didn't really support us in what we wanted to do. And so having a partner that supported me and didn't question me at all on what I wanted to do was amazing. And I literally quit my job, became a full-time mom, and enrolled in a pediatric sleep consulting certification program. And once I started, working with families one-on-one, I realized how I was getting a really big amount of families that were breastfeeding families, nursing parents. And I wanted to expand my knowledge to be able to help them, because sleep and feeding goes hand in hand, right? A baby that's nice and full is going to sleep better and for longer stretches than a baby that's not getting the calories that they need. And so I decided to get certified as a lactation counselor, lactation consultant. It goes both of them, right? It's funny, the names, like people use them and exchange them all the time. And so yeah, now I have my own practice called Step by Step Baby Consulting, and I help parents with sleep and with lactation. And I do it simultaneously because, again, I feel like it goes hand in hand. And so I absolutely love what I do. And because of all the knowledge that I gained, that really gave me the confidence to decide to have another baby. And so that's when we decided we wanted to have, my husband always wanted another one, but I was very, very stressed out just thinking about it because of how, it started off with my son. And so, yeah, we got pregnant and we just had our baby, and yeah, our family's complete now.
That's amazing. You have such an incredible story. I mean, just from your experiences and just wanting to give back. And you're totally right. I wish I would have found you earlier during my early stages of motherhood, because, not only are we going through this whole new change in life, but now we're trying to figure out how to take care of our little human that we have in front of us. So that is just so amazing that you've gone, through such an amazing journey and just are giving back to families. And I wish there were, more resources like you to share with the whole world, because all moms need a sleep consultant, in my opinion. That's always a priority, is sleep. So why is sleep so important, do you think?
For many reasons, but I would say the number one reason is when a baby is getting all the sleep that they need, they're just a lot happier and easier. And I like to tell parents, think about yourself. If you go one night without sleeping, are you a good partner? Are you a good employee? Well, you're probably tired and cranky and fussy yourself, right? So you're not going to be a great partner or a great employee. And so now think about this for a little baby, right? Who can't verbalize to you that they're tired. So the only way they communicate is by crying. And so now you have a very fussy baby on your hands. And if you go, the more nights you go without them getting the sleep that they need, the crankier and fussier they become, right? Because now they're overly tired. And so I really think at the bottom of it is it legitimately makes parenthood easier, because your child is getting the rest that they need. So they're being the best that they can be. And you yourself are getting the sleep that you need. And now you're being the best version of you too. And then that's not to say there's so many other reasons, right? The growth hormone is secreted in deep sleep, and babies need the growth hormone. That's when your metabolism is working, and we need those little metabolisms to be working so that they can grow. That's when their brain is making all the connections that it needs to make and storing memories. I mean, the list is endless. But I think at the end of the day, like I said, is it really does make parenthood be more enjoyable, because you have an easier baby and you yourself have a clear mind now because you're getting the rest you need.
That's so awesome. And you're so right. And you're giving me so much to think about in my own motherhood experiences and journey. And that's just so amazing. You're able to provide that for families. I'm sure you've helped so many women throughout your business. And I love seeing your posts on Instagram. You share so many amazing tips, and I'm always
Thank
sharing your
you.
page because I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I think about it all the time. Like I can't believe it took me to be in my mid 30s to like find my passion and my calling, but that's life, right? Like I went
Mhm.
to college for fashion and I thought like I was going to be in fashion my whole life. And then I became a mom and I really realized like just there's not enough resources, like you said, there's not enough help, there's not enough support. And what I found is the medical system really likes to gaslight women in particular, I feel like, especially women of color. And so when I finally was validated, my feelings like I'm exhausted and I'm really struggling and I need help. And when my doctor finally was like, hey, there's actual help for you, like here it is, right? I was so excited and over the moon. And so I love being that for moms now. Like I love getting on the phone with them and having a discovery call and comparing like our conversation and even their voice, like their tone of voice and how they're communicating with me during the discovery call compared to the success call, which is the last call. They're completely different people, right? Like they're, yeah. And it, that to me, there's like nothing better than that. Like, yes, I do it for the babies too. They need sleep, right? But I love doing it for women. I love doing it for moms. I love seeing the change in parents.
Definitely life changing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just been, I can imagine. So, when now that you're a lactation and a sleep consultant, do you have
hmm
a piece of advice for LunaYou moms, new moms, or even moms with little ones at home?
So I would say for, especially for first time mom, and I know you read this everywhere, but you probably don't even believe it because I know I read it everywhere and I didn't believe it, right? And it's like your birth is only going to be a few hours or a day or 2 days, right? But somehow we get tunnel vision and we just concentrate on the birth and we prepare, like, while you're pregnant, just like labor and delivery and the birth, right? I want to tell you, don't even stress out about the birth. Yes, take a birthing education class, prepare how you want, but focus more on the postpartum period because the postpartum period is legitimately the rest of your life, right? And so that's a bigger bulk of your life that you're going to spend in that area. So, again, it's not about preparing for the birth, like and having everything down to the T. No, life is going to happen. You're going to have that baby one way or another, right? Of course, I want you to be educated and have your options and get the birth you want. But the postpartum period, you're in such a fragile place, like your hormones are all over the place. And that's when I really think you need the most support. And that's when you need to call in your friends and your family. And so have a postpartum plan. I think of having a postpartum plan is much more important than having a birth plan. And I did the opposite with my son. I concentrated on labor and delivery and I had a birth plan and that went out the window. And with my second, I didn't even have a birth plan. I just said, these are my preferences. And if it goes that way, it goes that way. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I had a postpartum plan. So I had a calendar, right, with who was going to be at my house helping me every week. And so, or who did I have that I can call on to get them here? And I was just talking to you about it earlier, but I've had a really tough week with my daughter and my son. They were both sick. And so I called my sister and I told her, hey, you know how you said I can call you after the baby came and if I needed you? And I'm like, I need you. And she flew out Wednesday and she's here. And I'm so thankful that I did it that way instead of doing it the way that I did it with my son.
That is just aw I really love that idea, a postpartum plan. Like, how amazing, would that be to just focus on that? I mean, you're totally right. That's what we need as moms. We
hmm
get so stressed about that delivery, but it's like, this is your new life postpartum. So,
Yeah.
wow, I really love that. And I definitely will share that with other moms, but that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to play a little game. We're going to play Would You Rather. So I'm going to ask
Okay.
you a question and then you can just, give me your answer and any other thing that comes your way when you give that answer. So would you rather have your toddler cut their own hair or have him or her cut your hair?
Have them cut their own hair.
I agree.
They're kids. Nobody's going to care, right? It's going to grow back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't know how I would feel if my toddler cut my hair.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
I probably have a bald spot on the side.
Exactly.
So would you rather wake up every 20 minutes with a newborn or change a blowout diaper on an airplane? Ooh, those are two tough ones.
Yeah, they are. But because I love sleep so much, I would say change a blowout on an airplane. And it's actually, I didn't change a blowout on an airplane. I changed a blowout at an airport bathroom with my son. So yeah, so I've had experience there.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah, I've had a lot of blowouts too. I would agree with you on that one. It happens.
Yeah, it does.
So would you rather be stuck in a room with a teething baby or a hormonal teenager for a week?
A teething baby, hands down. I literally tell my husband all the time, like, you know, if you get caught up in like being a mom and what stage they're in, right? And you're like, oh my God, this is so hard. And every stage is hard, right? But I'm just like that teenager stage, I am scared. I do not want to get there.
Oh my gosh. I'm there with you actually with my two boys. So.
I'm scared of the teenagers. So I will take a teething baby any day.
That is so funny. Well, it was so good speaking with you today, and thank you for sharing so many amazing tips for our LunaYou moms. And you know, where can we find you?
Yes. So I have my website, which is www.stepbystepbabyconsulting.com. That's where I have, you know, all the information about me, a little bit more about me, as well as links to my social media. I'm more active on Instagram, I have to say, than on Facebook. It's just an easier medium for me to communicate with. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am more than happy to answer you back if it's via email or via direct message on Instagram. I honestly have I know there's like certain specialists, right, who are like, oh, I don't know if I should tell them this or give you that advice or whatever. I will tell you everything I know. I will give you like everything I know, and I will probably give you more advice than what you asked for. And that's just because I wish I had a resource like me when I was struggling with my son. And so I am not afraid to overshare anything. I am an open book. And like I said, I will tell you everything I know.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
And we really appreciate you coming on Mama Needs a Minute.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure. We'll see you again soon. And have a good day.
Bye.